Hi, my name is Mike Ward. I'm the Global Director of Content at Pink Sheet, Scrip and Indivior. I'm here at the Biotech Showcase 2018, a meeting that takes place in San Francisco alongside JPM, the JPM Healthcare Conference, which is the sort of traditional kickoff for the pharmaceutical industry, and it's where investors, biotechs and farmers talk about some of the issues that are facing the industry, but also it's an opportunity to sort of share progress and also develop new deals. Now, one of the interesting things is that some companies have a great start and then have to sort of retrench and then have a sort of almost like a renaissance. I'm joined today by Tim Dyer, who's the CEO of Addex Therapeutics, a Swiss-based biotech company that has a fairly checkered history.
Yeah, so Mike, good morning. Good to be here. Thanks very much for the question, the opportunity. Addex, basically in the last 4 years, as you point out, had to retrench. We've been working a little bit under the radar screen. The company has a very interesting platform around allosteric modulation discovery, so this is biology and the chemistry. We've been advancing a portfolio that was discovered in-house. Today the lead asset, dipraglurant, is an mGlu5 negative allosteric modulator. It's teeing up ready to start a phase 3 study in levodopa-induced dyskinesia associated with Parkinson's disease. We've got a portfolio of molecules on other targets, all discovered in-house, ranging from very early stage to starting phase 1.
Right. So, I mean, and it's interesting, the lead indication. When people talk about relevant clinical outcomes, the shaking associated with Parkinson's is in fact one of the sort of conditions that people with Parkinson's disease actually would like to see resolved.
Well, the underlying symptoms are very well managed today by levodopa, and in fact, as the neurodegeneration progresses, they get a number of other side effects. I mean, one of them is psychosis. We've seen the recent approval and launch of pimavanserin for psychosis in Parkinson's. Addex is looking at these levodopa-induced dyskinesias, and again, they arise between 5 and 10 years after the patient has been diagnosed. It's quite complicated biology, but basically they're the uncontrolled movements which actually cause a number of problems for the patients, but it's more in the sort of medium to late stage.
And your lead program, is that back with Addex? I mean, are you developing that on your own?
Yeah, we're developing it on our own. We've been working in collaboration with the Michael J. Fox Foundation, who's been very kind over the last few years at funding a lot of the activities to prepare for phase 3. We recently, about a year ago, recruited Roger Mills, who was the Chief Medical Officer of Acadia, and who was credited with developing pimavanserin and getting that launched. So this is a big asset to the company, and it's very helpful to get dipraglurant now moving forward again.
So, and do you have the finance available to be able to run a phase 3 trial?
No, we don't. Today we are actually working to secure those resources, and those resources may come from partnering. We're certainly open to partnering the assets, or they may come from further capital raising from the investment community.
Because you are publicly quoted on the Swiss
exchange. Yes, we're publicly quoted on the Swiss exchange, so we can get access to capital.
Beyond the lead program, though, you've had some sort of progress elsewhere. You've just done this deal with Indivior.
Yeah,
Indivior.
That's right. Yeah, Indivior. Yeah.
So could you just sort of recap what sort of the headline is about that, and again what we expect to sort of see coming from that?
Yeah. So this is a very interesting program. It was again discovered in-house. It's on the GABA B target, which is the target of a generic called baclofen, which is an allosteric agonist. We've basically used our positive allosteric modulator technologies to come with positive allosteric modulators on the target. But there's a lot of validation, a number of indications, and one of those indications is addiction. Now, Indivior has basically got a 20-year history of, in addiction. They're the world leader. They developed their franchise within Reckitt-Beckesser. They were spun out a couple of years ago, and they really are the partner of choice for us for this indication. We've been discussing with them for a number of years. They've built a lot of knowledge around the biology of the GABA target, but they're very excited by it, and they're very excited by a positive allosteric modulator approach. And so, you know, they've basically licensed, we announced that on the 2nd of January this year, 3rd of January this year, and they are then driving the molecule forwards, and we're expecting them to put it into phase 1 later this year, and you know, they really are the partner of choice for us.
So we talk about the sort of the retrenchment of Addex. So what's the ambition now, sort of, you know, going forward? I mean, are you going back to sort of, you know, rebuilding the company?
Yeah, I mean, we have a small team in place. The platform is in place. The platform is up and running. We announced earlier last year getting a grant from the Michael J. Fox Foundation to move forward a Track B positive allosteric modulator program, which is very exciting. So that's moving forward. We're doing chemistry on that with an outsourced service provider, doing all the in vitro pharmacology in-house. Now, in the Indivior deal, there is also a very important research effort. So Indivior is going to fund a research program within Addex to bring backup programs forward behind the lead asset 71441, and from that backup program, Addex has the right actually to dip into that and take out molecules for itself, and we're allowed to then develop those in a number of orphan indications which are outside addiction and outside the interest in Indivior. So we don't only get a partner to drive forward the addiction molecule, we also get a funded program within Addex, which is another program. And the indication we're looking at for that is Charcot-Marie-Tooth 1A neuropathy.
Right. Okay. And when you were doing the deal, was that something that you had made a conscious decision that you wanted to keep some of the rights to the molecule?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Indivior is the world leader in addiction, so they're very much focused on the addiction franchise, and we certainly wanted to let them take the 71441 molecule and have access to backups in case something happens with the lead. But you know, they weren't going to diligently develop the molecule or any of the backups in some of these other very interesting indications. So it made sense for us to retain those, because Addex is very much focused on sort of movement disorders, other orphan indications around neurology, and CMT falls exactly into our strategy going forward.
Right. Okay. So what will that mean for Addex? I mean, will you be sort of, you know, hiring more people, or?
Yeah, we're going to strengthen the team a little bit. We're not going to go crazy, but we will add a few people, especially in the in vitro pharmacology. We'll add a few people around the chemistry, because we need people to drive the chemistry, which is going to be outsourced to service providers. And we will need to strengthen on the back of securing resources to develop dipraglurant. We will then need to strengthen again around the clinical development team, very much around Roger Mills.
Right. And of course, this meeting is, as I say, pharmaceutical companies are here, biotech companies are here, investors. You know, who is it that you're actually wanting to bend the ear of during this meeting?
Well, we have a very large portfolio of compounds which have been discovered in-house. We have this technology platform, so you know, really we talk to anybody who wants to listen to us, really, and because every compound that we have in the portfolio, from the early to the later stage, would benefit from having a partner. So keeping people aware of, you know, our portfolio and what we're doing with it is really the objective. And of course, we keep the investment community appraised. We're a public company. We have an investor relations activity that also goes on in parallel.
Okay. All right. Well, Tim, pleasure seeing you again.
Yeah, good to see you, Mark.
All right, see you.